Jags, I mean, if the Jags lose, they're still first place in the division. So, but it's not about that. It's about the Jags. Again, not to bring up the Dolphins, but who have you beaten? Who have you played? This is a statement game. Niners are considered one of the best teams in football. So if the Jags can handle their business and beat the Niners, then we're going to start talking about the Jags, and certainly put them in the conversation. So, okay, game 2, guys. Lions and Chargers. It's the Lions. What do we do? I mean, here's another team similar to Jacksonville where we're saying they're good, but are they? The numbers support that. They're in first. They're playing really well. They've had some issues. Amon-Ra St. Brown's been hurt for a few weeks. They've kind of struggled.
Montgomery hurt.
Montgomery's been hurt. Yep. But now he's healthy. I think he's playing tomorrow, so they're healthy too. He's healthy. So they'll have both running backs healthy tomorrow. The Chargers, their defense is the story. I think they're third worst against the pass overall. Okay?
Yeah, they're really bad.
And it's been like that for a while. They're just not getting any better. And whether the Lions do well, they throw the football. Goff's been good. Now, the knock on Goff over the last, outside of maybe a few games this year has been the home road splits. But in this situation, and we talk about this often, Chargers, do they really have a home field advantage? I mean, it's the Coliseum. I mean, really, where you have every other team and that plays there, and
they have no
lots to do.
Field advantage. No,
plus Detroit's
nothing.
fan base, especially this year, has traveled well, and I think that you're going to hear a lot of cheering.
And where's he from? The quarterback?
Is he from California?
Goff. I think he's a West Coast guy.
Cal
guy.
Okay.
Cal Bear.
So there is a lot of ties there. Now, let's go on the other side. The Chargers, they had a pretty impressive win last week. They're home again for what it's worth for them. The Chargers they're a 500 team. They need this win too. They need to keep pace in the AFC. They cannot lose this game. If they lose this game, then it puts them another game possibly behind the wild card because they're not getting the division, and it's not.
Staley starts going looking for boxes.
Yeah, and we start talking about how bad that coaching staff is again. So,
you're going Lions -3.
Again, this is another game I think it's very tough to pick. I do like, again, fantasy pieces of this game, DFS related, which I will get to certainly in the core 4 hint. But for me, again, I just kind of feel like the Lions are probably overall the better team. And so, yeah, I think I'm on the Lions in this game.
If this was being played outside, I would probably go with the Chargers. But golf, it's very weird. Inside of a stadium, the guy just tears things up. And like you said, I don't think the Chargers have really a home field advantage here. They really, really don't. The Lions are playing hungry football. And they've beaten some good teams. They've lost to, I think, one bad team and another team that was good. So I think they are who they are. I think their record is telling you exactly who they are. And the Chargers, the same thing. An average football team, got a pretty high-powered offense and a defense that can't cover anything. I think the Lions come in here and just Laporta, Goff, St. Brown, Reynolds. I think these guys eat. Montgomery, Gibbs. I mean, Gibbs the last few weeks, my God, if you've had him on fantasy, you're very happy. He had like 27 last week.
Yeah.
I do worry about Montgomery coming back, actually. I mean, I know the guy's a touchdown machine, but I really like the duality of Gibbs' game.
It makes the whole team better.
You can dip out
it's
to him.
It's tough
and
for
turn
us because we have to pick and choose a DFS guy or who we put in a lineup, but from the winning from this game perspective.
Yeah, I like Gibbs as Lions, like an overall weapon.
But all their pieces, they look pretty good.
Yeah, I'm taking Lions -3.
Well, and another scary thing about the Lions is that what you were seeing the maturation and development of a head coach,
of a system,
of a culture,
yeah.
Okay, and you're seeing the players that fit it.
Yeah, they buy in.
Okay, and for everybody who murmurs about, maybe we should try and upgrade a quarterback. One of their friends is going to walk across the room behind them in Lansing, in Michigan, and smack him in the back of the head and go, "No, Jared Goff is going to retire a Detroit Lion. He's going to play the rest of his career here. Why? He's good enough. He's a leader. He doesn't make the fancy window passes. He doesn't have a 70-yard arm. Okay, but what does he do? He gets everybody in place. He manages the game. He has a high completion percentage. He doesn't choke. Okay, and that's what you need in this day and age of the NFL, where you have all hands on deck. Okay, when you get a team that has all hands on deck, San Francisco 49ers.
Well, use the
You get a
Dolphins
team-
as an example.
The Dolphins
You
are
have the
also getting
weapons.
there.
You get
Yeah.
the ball in the hands of your
Yep.
skill players, of your playmakers,
And it's a system.
And that's what you do.
And it's a system, and it's a culture.
Yes.
Okay. And you would think that with with Dan Campbell that everybody be walking around wearing bear pelts and no, I got a knife on my no, you don't bring a knife to practice, but it's still a modern day NFL. Dan still relates to the millennial and Gen Z kids that are playing for the team. He still inspires toughness. He's still a consummate professional. You've seen these instances both in regular media and through Hard Knocks. So I think not only are the Lions a force to be reckoned with right now, last year at the end of the year, second half of the season, they were a force to be reckoned with. Okay, but I see big things. I see a playoff win for this team.
Could be.
Okay, in and win.
They get a home game,
Okay.
which they
Yeah.
very well could.
In and win.
Yeah, it's
Okay, they take on the second or third ranked wild card team.
This is going to be
in
their
and
year.
win.
Yeah.
Okay, and then next year, with even better personnel, they don't lose too many coaches or whatever and disrupt the system. You're going to start seeing a contender there. So
Now,
there's your
again,
Lions.
let's play devil's advocate. Lions
Ooh,
lose
devil's
this
advocate.
game. Chargers win the game, right?
Okay.
Chargers could very well win. I think it's a 3-point spread.
Chargers are doomed.
If the Chargers do win this game,
Okay.
Either way,
You
point,
say
2
so.
points, whatever. If then we look at the Lions as what? We look at them as still a good team, right? They're still leading the division,
Fantastic
right?
team, yeah,
But
sure.
again, we're at the point now where we're still just not exactly sure.
I guess that would come down to how do they lose? Is it a last-second field goal, or do
Yeah.
you get blown out by 17 by the Chargers?
Again,
you get
but-
blown out by 17.
But you know what,
gotta
though?
start looking at
But
the,
3 weeks from now, we forget about how they lose and we look at the record.
but that's why it's
Because
football. It is week to week.
Good teams win games, those like that, typically, and that's what I'm saying. So we definitely it's just easy to take narrative from game by game. It's easy to take narrative on results that are in front of us because we see them, we can taste them, and it's an emotional response. But either way, I look at the Lions as a good team. I think they're better than the Chargers. They have to win this football game. This is a spot where they have to win.
Were the Lions on a bye week last week?
Yes.
They are
Yes.
coming off. Then 100% I'm taking the
Yeah,
Lions. They've
yeah.
had 2 weeks for these guys. Yeah.
All right, last game, guys. Now, again, maybe not the bling of some of the teams that we generally talk about, but I think there's some importance in here because we did talk about Seattle coming into the year being viable in maybe a little bit of a watered-down NFC compared to the AFC. And we're waiting for Seattle, for Geno, to have the year he had last year. I know I am because I've got him everywhere. And he's been pedestrian at best, right? So
Return to the mean.
here we go. They're playing Washington this week. They're at home. Washington's a bottom 5 defense overall.
And they're going to be worse because they got rid of 2
They
guys.
trade everybody now.
Terrible.
Thurston Howell on the other side has been slinging it. I mean,
Yes.
slinging it, right? So I got him too. I got him. I got both quarterbacks in every league friggin' season long that I'm in this year. I got both these guys.
He's second in the NFL in yards
It's
passing.
ridiculous.
How quietly? Like I didn't realize that until the other day. I'm
Yeah.
like, you have got to be kidding
So
me. He is.
looking at that alone, now Seattle's back end defense, they're decent. They're pretty good. But Washington's not. So do you see, for me, I see a game script where Seattle gets right. They're also healthy. I think Charbonnet's playing. Obviously, Kenneth Walker's running the ball. They've got the receivers. Another guy that I'm leaning towards that I do have him, he's not in my core 4, but Njigba's double-digit fantasy points each of the last 3 weeks. Now, he's a rookie guy coming on. You know they've got talent at that position. I just feel like, again, when your pieces are all in alignment, which they are now for Seattle, you look at the other side, the matchup, I think it's a get-right spot for Geno in Seattle this week. I think I saw the line earlier. It was like maybe 6 or 6.5. Yeah. I'm on Seattle on this side. Now, again, with the Commanders and with Thurston, the way he's been playing, I mean, he can backdoor this cover very easily because he's not going to stop throwing the football.
Nope.
He's been averaging over 40 pass attempts each of his last, I don't know, every game he's played. So
Get open, Lovey. Get open.
it's pretty much going to be, game script, Seattle gets out, they move the ball like we think they should, they score points, and then here comes Washington with a backdoor cover. You got to be careful with that. So from a betting perspective, I'm still taking Seattle to 6.5 because they are clearly in a better spot.
But be careful.
But it's careful. It's not a betting game for me. But I do like, again, if you notice, these 3 games that I highlighted are 3 games where you can really take your DFS shots from. There are some key pieces in here that are not overpriced that I think you have a really good shot to make some money with this weekend. So
Washington allows wideouts to eat very often. Like you just said, they have a very bad passing defense. And you got Lockett, Metcalf, and Jigba. You know, they don't cover the run very well either.
Charbonnet, too.
Yeah, Charbonnet, he's a pass catcher. Kenneth Walker gets a couple of targets.
Bobo!
Seattle has what
Beware
it
the
takes to
Bobo.
stop Howell. I think that they're already one-dimensional, like you were mentioning in Washington. They throw the ball a lot. And then you got Seattle that can absolutely stuff your run game, which they don't have a scary run game to begin with. I think Howell puts the ball in the air a few too many times. Possible pick six to really, really clear that spread. It is at 6.5 right now, and like you said, you do got to kind of watch out because the Commanders do have an offense, man. God forbid Seattle doesn't come to play on defense. Commanders could put 450 yards on offense on you. So I am staying away from betting this game. I bet 6 games this week. This was going to be one of them, but actually doing enough research, I'm like, this is a little too much. I am going to take Seattle if I had to take a pick here with the 6.5, but it does worry me, definitely, the same reasons that you gave.
Yeah, I just
Come
think,
on, pussy pick.
I mean, I just think Washington. No, again, these games weren't ones to discuss necessarily. For picking of games, but again, fantasy pieces. Good conversation, good narrative in these football games. This is another team. Seattle needs a win too. This is a home game
Yeah.
that on their schedule. They're looking at this game going check. Check. This is a win, and they haven't played well enough consistently to do that to this point. So they have to show it on Sunday. They have to come out and they have to play a complete game. So if they do, they're the better team.
All right. Let me speak on this. Let me get a couple of knuckle cracks in there. Leonard Williams, remember him? Remember probably the best defensive tackle not named Aaron Donald in the NFL. And where does he play now? He used to play in New York.
Yeah. Got traded.
Where he was wasting the early part of his career away. And now he's playing in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
With a defense behind him that was already kicking ass. Okay? And now they have the monster in the middle. So, with that in mind, would you make any adjustments in your assessment of this game?
Well, like Johnny said, the Redskins don't run the ball.
Right.
They use Gibson a lot more as a pass catcher.
Right.
So you're great. I mean, you clog the middle, and that's good if you're trying to run the
So
football.
what if they sack? By the way, Howell is also the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. So what if they sack him into unconsciousness?
Well, then who's the backup?
Okay.
Washington. We'll be talking about him next week.
Yeah, write him on your list. What rookie is coming in?
Min Price.
Is it Teddy Bridgewater?
Johnny
or something
Bones.
Like
Or Johnny Bones is.
that?
I got him at 4K.
Sacrificial Larry.
Yeah, I got him at 4K.
I see Seattle winning. I see him covering the 6.5. I see Leonard Williams going off like a BOMB bomb. We're talking 2 sacks. We're talking 10 tackles. We're talking disrupt the whole entire game. Okay, to the point where maybe Ron Rivera finally gets the axe after this game. They're going to blow Washington out. Okay, at home, they're going to blow Washington out. 12th man's going to be off the chain. You're going to start hearing about how the seismometer starts going off. Okay, you're going to see that whole sound meter go up.
Sort of kind of after you have Mexican.
Exactly.
Yeah, same thing.
Ooh.
Man, that's just.
Refried beans.
You ever
and
been?
onions.
You ever been to La Bamba with him?
Oh.
No.
No. Whew.
Oh,
Kelly,
drive
you know
separately,
listen, bro,
going
you
home.
know you're in trouble if I order anything with
Yeah,
onions.
talk about
Okay,
seismograph.
because I mean, most Mexican cuisine has refried beans or black beans or whatever. But yeah, let me get some onions in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll weaponize it.
I shared a hotel room.
I'll weaponize it.
I shared a hotel room with him for a few nights. Okay,
Neighbors complain.
we didn't have Mexican either night for that reason.
They called the desk. They were like, "Did something die in the hall?"
I made him have salads for 2 days.
They're sending Gonzo
So-
to
They wanted to
Russia
switch
with a bunch of
floors.
onions.
He weaponized
Weaponized
his
it.
La Bamba After Effects. That's awesome. Sorry.
Hey, my crop dustings can be considered a war crime.
As
so it's
we
okay.
digress, yeah.
Okay, so do we have any other games to talk about? Or can we talk more?
no.
I'll do more fart jokes all day long.
You know what? Have you ever just talked into your Alexa? Alexa, make fart jokes. Or sorry, no, fart sounds. Fart sounds.
He'll go.
Well, she'll announce the type of fart it is and
Oh
then
my
make the sound. It's quite funny. Yeah. So anyway, that's why
man.
obviously
Listen,
you use my Alexa.
favorite thing. My favorite thing, okay, and I'm saying this on air now that I've got the stream reestablished, by the way.
Everybody will hear
I'll
it
tell you
now.
on the break what kind of a Mongolian clusterfuck I just dealt with. But what I like to do, my favorite thing is busy night. at the club. I'm in the booth. I just finished like, a chicken wrap with broccoli, right? And after about a half hour, 45 minutes, and then
The rumbling.
Jack
starts.
jumps up on the top step like he normally does, like to oversee the kingdom, and he walks right into a crop dust,
Oh, that's beautiful.
like a landmine.
Yeah, that's
And he will literally, hey, what's going on? Hey, oh my God, what is wrong with you? But he does that to everybody else too, though.
Yeah.
He'll sit there on the corner of the bar, popping them off left and right, and poor waitresses are walking right through it, like, like they walk through a spider web, like, yeah, oh yeah. No, they did fart wars.
It's the greatest place to crop dust.
Oh.
Because you never, for me at least, I never stand
yeah.
in one spot. So I can evacuate immediately. You're stuck in your hole, but I can drop
That's
ass.
what you get, man.
And then
That's
just
what you get. You climb in the cage with the monkey.
listen. I can drop ass and go to the south side, and
Yeah,
just be
I know.
fine with it. I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm good.
yeah.
So I have no fear about what I have for-
Merciless.
for
And we don't
dinner.
want that guy sitting over there,
Merciless.
standing right next to him.
Merciless.
For
Once in a
5
while, I
minutes.
will turn around to check, and then I will see people's faces. Like, yeah, got him. Yeah, got him. Got him. So,
All right, so we're going to come back with our core four right after this is the Gonzo Radio Sports Day.
We live by another day. We live by another day.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
We better get going. God knows what the team is doing with just Farmer Fran watching them.
Dios me está, Bobby Boucher on the via, corre, rojo, y reclamación, Bobby Boucher está ahí.
Gonzo Radio.
Yeah, I love ending it with a big pair of boobs in your face. Besides these boobs that I have in my face for an hour and a half every Saturday. Don't forget now, once I'm able to get the technical difficulties ironed out, this episode is going to be called the Technical Difficulties episode because we had trouble with the recording, we had trouble with the stream. The stream backfired on us. So I think there's 2 people in the chat room right now because they got alerted. Okay, but for those of you who are watching this in the archives, it's the technical difficulty stream. You missed a lot. You really did. We had a really good time, and I'm really enjoying how the show is evolving. So let me go ahead and remind everybody that when I do get my technical shit together, that we will be available, the audio version will be available on SoundCloud and Spreaker. So if you want to drive around with the windows down, listen to us talk our nonsense, and of course learn a little something about what's going on in the NFL and how to either place wagers, parlays, DFS,
if you're listening now,
leagues.
you need to
Yes.
be listening now.
Yeah,
For your DFS.
this is really good stuff here. That's the only reason why I'm recording it.
I think you would have basically hit every week, right, to this
Yes.
point, if you'd
Yep.
been following
Right.
us all the way
Well,
through.
I mean, and
we missed on guys, but
Right.
we've been right on, too.
But ultimately, the averages are coming out
So
to high
strong.
numbers. Yeah, man.
So strong.
Well, to recap though, in the first segment we did rock solid kick rocks. Will a rookie quarterback play in and win a playoff game? Nope, kick rocks. We don't care. The middle segment, of course, where we were picking games. We all like the Jags to beat the 49ers.
Detroit to beat the Chargers.
Detroit to beat the Chargers.
And Seattle to beat Commanders.
Right, but we're scared of Seattle, so that one you bet at your own risk. Me, I'm nuts. I think they're going to blow Seattle. Seattle's going to blow them out. Going to run them out of the stadium, beat them to death. Leonard Williams is going to have a huge game. What was the first game that we were talking about? That was it, right? That was all
49ers, Jags, Lions.
Okay, so we're recapped.
And we did top 5 cheating scandals.
Oh, and the top 5 cheating scandals, which.
FU Astros.
Yes, FU Astros and
Black
FU Patriots,
Sox,
Black
Patriots,
Sox,
Lance
Red
Armstrong.
Shoeless Joe in, damn
Yes.
it. I'm telling you.
ridiculous.
So right now we are going to bring it to our latest segment, which is the core 4. Dun, 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 dun. So
Production here is
I'm telling you,
amazing.
the
Wow.
values.
The background sounds.
The production
music.
values
Holy
are off
hell.
the charts.
Wow,
Oh
my
my
ears are
god!
ringing.
You get those special effects.
Was that a bow, bow, bow? Was that button?
No, that's for your picture of the
Okay,
bone chicken.
sorry.
Wow.
The wrong one.
That's one thing that makes me sad is that.
Bow.
Well, okay, so let's go ahead and get this thing started, and so your core 4
Yes.
are 4 players.
Not too bad last week.
Right.
Wait, hold on a second. Did you guys see that? I think C.J. Stroud just threw another touchdown.
Yeah, he's still throwing them.
Yeah. We had a good week last
We
week.
were all on Stroud.
Yeah,
I made money. You made money. Everybody made money.
Yeah, Mr.
I mean, this guy made money too. I that's the worst. The thing that bothers me the
Chicka
worst
bow
about
wow
this
wow.
whole technical
Chicka
difficulty
bow
thing
wow wow.
was that we tore you up in the first segment. Okay, we roasted your ass.
That's a good-looking
and
kid right
it's
there.
lost for perpetuity in the sands of time. But we had a good time. So me and Johnny had a great time. So it was all good.
Can we
Yeah.
crop that to shave my little love trail there?
No, I told you, dude. I did a full edit on it, and I kept the authenticity because I wanted you to have hey, this was from a long time ago. This was what, 1989 or something like that.
Yeah.
If y'all are watching this, y'all cannot tell me that does not look like Matty Hasselhoff. Right there. That is some Knight Rider shit if I've ever
Or
seen
better
it.
yet, put him in some red trunks. Put him in some red OP shorts, and give him one of them red.
Looks
floaty
like
things.
Shooter McGavin.
Do you eat pieces of shit like me for breakfast?
You guys are great. So anyway, let's get to
Well,
core 4.
hey,
We're not done.
it turns out we weren't done. What do you know? All right, so
gosh.
that's
Last
just
week I killed it. You killed it.
moving right along.
Business
went
up top,
crazy.
party down below.
All right, fist bump. Give him the fist bump across the camera. There you go. Good. So, yeah, pretty good last week. Hunter Henry got in the end zone.
Had him. I had a lineup with everybody that we picked.
C.J. Stroud went crazy. Tank Dell went crazy.
$130 that lineup made.
I did miss on Zay Flowers. I was pretty high on the Baltimore offense last week. They did not play as well as I thought they would.
In spite of Zay.
Their first 2 touchdowns were like Gus Edwards touchdowns. He's just messing things up overall right now, that offense. So
That's his job.
yeah, so that's Gus Edwards, and that's the Ravens. But overall, really, really strong. So we're going at it again this week, guys. We talked about how bad the matchup is for the Chargers and how bad their pass defense is.
Pretty bad.
Amon St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm all about the targets here, guys. I said it coming into the year. There were magic numbers. There were baselines. If you hit so many targets, you get this much production. It's all about opportunity. And obviously, St. Brown being one of the better receivers in the league, 43 targets the last 3 weeks. It's an average of almost 15 targets a week. That's near the top. That's enough for me. He gets 15 targets in this game. It's a big day for Amon St. Brown. Now, you're paying for it. $8,300. He's one of the top guys. But I've got some places you can save a little bit of money as well. So I got Amon St. Brown, one of my receivers. My second receiver, I like Jacksonville. Also, again, I said get pieces from this game. I like the fact that they'll throw the ball this week. And to throw the ball, there's no Zay Jones. It's pretty much going to be the, hopefully, Ridley show this week. I'm hoping. He's had a couple of
You
average
Ridley owners
weeks.
have just been crying all
see,
year.
now-
He's got one good game.
I will say this. I was one of the few guys that was not on Ridley earlier in the season. Okay, I didn't think
I was.
it was
I
going to
was,
be an
yeah,
easy
big-
transition.
But I wasn't going to draft him in no fourth
Right,
round.
right.
Like
So-
a bunch of fools did.
But now let's look at price. It's all about price. He's only 5,600 with the upside of a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown.
don't believe it.
So I'm on the upside of Ridley this week in that offense in Jacksonville having to throw the ball in the air. And if they do score in the air, Ridley's going to be a part of it. And I like him at that price. How about a Tampa running back for some value? 5,600 White.
White.
Do you know that he's had 17 catches over the last 3 weeks as a running back?
Yeah.
He's averaging 6 catches a week, okay, at the running back position. And he's averaging an average of about 12 carries.
He's like baby McCaffrey.
That's
over
like
there.
18 to 20
Yeah.
touches a week.
I have had him on my club league, okay, which is a pretty significant league. I have not taken him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been just solid as can be.
You take a look at his projection, and he is either within a point of it on the bottom side.
Yeah, yeah.
His floor is 1 point under, literally, or he beats it by 3 to 10 points.
Over the last 3 weeks, he is running back 6, okay,
Yeah.
in terms of fantasy production.
He's
okay?
fueled my 3-game winning streak.
First of all, he's a running back nobody's heard of, and he's on one of the worst teams in the league. So, and this is why you do your
Backbone guy.
This is why you do your work. And who actually turned me on to this last week was Andrew. Andrew was on this guy last week, and he had his best week last week. So I'm expecting at least that this week from him, maybe another step forward, because Tampa needs to use him as a part of their offense.
19 to 21 points.
Yeah, I mean, and,
Easily.
and at that price, 5.8K, he gets to 20. It's more than 3x, and that's what we're looking for.
It's literally if he scores a touchdown. If he sticks with his projection,
Yeah.
he's worth the money.
Yeah.
But if he scores a
And
touchdown,
he destroys it. Last
he
week he
kills
had
it.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He hadn't had any touchdowns in the previous 4
yeah,
weeks.
she,
though.
right,
Yeah.
he's my boy. That's
But
my guy.
I kind
White
of
is the
feel
man.
like if things stabilize, even if he gets you with that modest production, the 1 touchdown, whether it's catching or running the football,
Yep.
he absolutely blows out
Money.
his projection. So last guy for me, guys. I've got St. Brown as the wide receiver. We talked about Washington's pass defense, how porous it is. Give me the connection. I'm taking golf.
Stack it.
He's about the, I think, 9th or 10th price quarterback this week. So
Stack
he's down
alert,
there,
stack alert.
middle of nowhere. The road home splits, I've considered it. I've thought about it. Again, it doesn't really matter in this situation. Chargers don't really get the advantage being home. And again, being so bad on defensively, especially in the secondary. I mean, and Goff, we talked about Montgomery coming back. The Lions are at full tilt right now. I mean, this is as best as the Lions are going to be. So in this spot, I'm checking a lot of boxes. All right, I'm on Goff. So quick recap, and he's at 6.4, by the way. So my recap for my core 4, spending a little bit more this week than normal, but hopefully paying up. I got Golf 6.4, Amon-Ra St. Brown 8.3K, and then Ridley at 5.6, and then White for Tampa coming in at 5.8. So give me 3x on those guys and fill the rest of your pieces, and you're making money.
The only guy on there that would be I like 3 of them for sure is Ridley, just because of his year. But this could be a breakout.
It's
year.
an upside pick for me,
They
for sure.
yeah, what the Jacksonville Jaguars attack is the exact thing that the 49ers are weak at, and that's kind of like the middle of the field type thing. That's why Kirk is probably going to be one of mine. Last week, we had Stroud for 7,100 with 41.8. I told you guys to match up Dell 26.6 for 5,800. Hunt was the only guy that disappointed me at 7,000 with 9, and then Lamb at 22.6. You average right around like 24, 25 fantasy points per player.
Yeah.
This week, we are going to go. I'm going to throw a curveball at you, 2 of them actually.
Look out, incoming.
I'm gonna go Levis. I really like this kid. I was right after the game I saw against the Steelers. Man, there's something about him that maybe this isn't the week, but coming up in the next few weeks here, this kid's gonna have a really good game. I'm just hoping it's this week against Tampa Bay's pass offense.
Will the thrill.
I'm gonna stack Hopkins because in order for Levis to have a big game, he's gonna have to have a few chuck up balls, and I'm hoping Hopkins can come down with one in the
That's
end
the
zone.
guy. Yep.
This is a first for us. I'm taking Cowboys defense as a core 4.
What is wrong with you?
I can't see the Giants scoring more than 10 to 13 points, and I could clearly see 4, 5, 6 sacks. This might be the easiest 15 points that you guys can get.
I just put him on my core 4 lineup.
That's one of my. And then Kirk, He is the number one wide receiver at attacking what the 49ers are very weak at. His routes that are designed for him are sitting right in the soft spot of the 49ers defense. I'm taking Kirk for 6,700. Cowboys are 5,200. Hopkins is 7,100, and Levis is 68.
Well, Hopkins is expensive. Whoa.
Yeah, he's got some price to him. But, man, he is the guy, right? I mean, he guy gets open still. He's like an
And even when he's not open,
Yeah.
you just, one-on-one,
Yeah.
you give the ball up to him, and he
Yeah.
can out-jump you. I mean,
No,
so
I agree, 100%. Those are strong. I like those a lot. Yeah, I mean, listen, DFS is all about finding value, plugging those guys into your lineups because you obviously work under a salary cap, and then taking shots, especially in tournaments where you need upside. You need guys that are going to give you high upside. You're not looking for high floor guys in GPP tournaments. You need high ceiling guys, the guy that out of nowhere catches you, 8 for 100 and a touchdown. And he's
all right, so why
priced.
don't you go ahead and give the fans one of your
Trent Irwin.
$5,000, $4,500 player, or for you it'd be like 43, 42. Someone that you think, hey, for this you can get 10, 11, 12 out of this guy. I'm going with Trent Irwin from Cincinnati. That's my guy.
I'd have to go down and look and see.
Irwin.
I find that there's a lot of value at the wide receiver position still in DFS, and typically the sites do take a little bit of time when they set their pricing. It takes a week or two to catch up. But if I'm getting a low price guy this week, I've already mentioned it.
Njigba?
It's Smith and Jigba.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's
he's
a
in
guy.
my lineup. He's 4,100. He's had multiple. He's had double-digit fantasy points in his last 3 weeks.
Yep.
I already mentioned about Seattle and the fact that Washington's pass defense is not good. So they're going to be in plus situations throwing the football. This kid's a rookie. Sometimes it takes you a little while. Wide receivers typically take a season or two to really get to be comfortable in the systems. And I know that for sure Pete Carroll's system is not a basic system.
I had him in
So-
my fantasy team last week for 5,500. He got 9.3, but if you get a touchdown on that, which could possibly happen this
Yeah.
week, you're up to 15,
So
16.
you're half point, and in DraftKings, I think he was at 12 or 13 fantasy points. He had 15 the 2 previous weeks with
Okay.
the touchdowns.
Wait, y'all talking about Trent Irwin?
No, we're talking about
No, we're
Smith
talking
and
about
Jigba. I'll tell you right now. Last
For
week,
Seattle.
Yeah, last week he went 8 catches. That's the difference.
Yeah.
For half point. 8 for
4 more
63
points.
didn't score. Week before, 3 for 36 in a score, then 4 for 63 in a score.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this guy gets in the end zone at 4,100. He's got value.
And as they get closer to, like, let's say the 20-yard line, the red zone, they use him a lot more. For some
Yeah.
reason, he's a big red zone target.
Yeah. That's interesting that you mentioned red zones. There's so much information statistically out there that when we look at these matchups, it's good to use those sorts of bits of information. Target share we talk about extensively, but red zone target share is very important as well. That's where you get most of your points, catching touchdowns. So certainly guys that are leading in red zone percentage in terms of attempts, you want to focus on those guys. Put those guys when they're in plus matchups into your lineups based on salary and who they're playing against.
It's one of my major things that I look for with tight ends.
Yeah.
Because they're not big playability guys,
Exactly.
but in the red zone,
Yeah.
they're big, massive targets.
And it's
Which brings me to Everett with the Chargers.
Yes.
Okay, very, very underrated, passed over. Guy catches tons of balls, red zone target, and the Lions are 27th ranked versus
The tight end.
The tight end.
Yeah.
Okay, and that dude is coming in at $3,900,
Yeah,
which
pretty
is
cheap.
cheap for a tight end.
Yeah, when he's mentioned in
Okay.
tight ends, it's important to recognize too, like your top tight ends. That's why there's such a difference in the tiers when we discuss the different levels with Kelsey and Hawkinson. It's based mostly on target share. Most of the tight ends that are in the game, they block. They're not
Yeah.
usually primary weapons. Okay,
No.
they're usually third and fourth read, unless you're a Kelsey or unless you're Hawkinson. So the tight ends are typically not focused in the offense, other than for run scheme. So when you get a tight end that's getting 7 or 8 targets in a game, that's upper end in terms of target share. So yeah, definitely you're looking for, and if you're getting 1 or 2 red zone looks as a tight end, then you're in that upper tier.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're getting, 6 catches for 40 yards or you're getting 3 catches and a touchdown. It's the same thing.
You saw it with Cincinnati last week. That he threw like 2 of his touchdown passes to 2 different tight ends in the red zone. It's
Yeah.
just they're big, huge targets, and usually you'll have a nickel corner guarding that
Or a
guy.
linebacker typically. Too.
Yeah,
It depends.
someone that
Yeah.
he
Well,
can
that's where
shadow.
that's where the Irwin kid comes in too. I mean, because he's a big kid too. So.
Yeah. So anyway, great advice, I think, today, guys. I mean, honestly, I think we killed it, for at least what you saw. But yeah, definitely.
From what you saw,
Trust
27
me, the
minutes.
rest of it was really good too. Yeah, no, it's getting better. We're getting better. The knowledge is there. The work is there. The results are there. And tomorrow, I don't really see how it's going to be much different. So if you're taking notes, if you're watching the picks, if you're following what we're doing, remember, success at this level is 56%. All right, that's what it is. I mean, the experts.
and we're up around 60, 61%.
Who knows? I think we could be even stronger than
We're
that.
up there.
But yeah, so just tune in. Again, this is why we do it for fun too. We don't do it, none of us are going to retire off this stuff.
Definitely ain't doing it for money and fame.
Yeah, but no, it's just fun
but
getting
thank
together.
you for watching anyway.
It's fun getting together. It's fun talking about this stuff. We do it all week long anyway, at work and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
might
So
as well.
it just gives us an opportunity to share it. And that's
We're
what we
just
do.
nice. We like to share.
We share. So, all right.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to say our goodbyes. So, yeah, Maddie, say bye.
See ya.
Bye, Johnny. Say bye.
Till
Bye,
next
nice
time, guys.
people. Yeah, we'll try to get everything together next week. I'll make sure every button is read and logged in. Yeah, I'll take responsibility. Like Tua did, okay, over in Germany, I'll take responsibility. It was my bad. I made 2 bad plays at the end of the game. Actually, it was the middle of the game. And don't worry, we'll learn from it, and I'll be better next time. So on behalf of myself and the boys, I am the Gonzo. They are the Maz and the Autobahn. And we'll see you next week, 12 p.m. here on the Gonzo Radio Network with the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Wait, I gotta queue up the. Yeah, see, I gotta make sure these things are there. Bye.